Hello family, I know so many of you love waakye and wish you could do it yourself, but you feel like it's such a complex process. In this video, I am going to simplify it for you. So the first thing I've done is to wash my beans. Please make sure you wash the beans because some of these beans, you don't know where it's coming from. Wash it thoroughly as many times as you want to wash. Then you're going to add your water. Usually, I do not add the measurements because everybody has their preference. You have people that want soft waakye, people that want hard waakye, and all of that. So, based on what you want, I'm going to cook the beans first. So, I added 3 cups of water to the beans. The beans is about 1.5 or 1.25 cups of beans. Then I added my sorghum leaves. This is what is going to bring in the color to the waakye. You cook that with the beans first so that it adds the color. You can see that it's cooking really, really beautifully. Many people have several ways that they do this. For some people, when the color comes in, they will take out the leaves and then add the rice. Sometimes too, you can just add the rice, and when everything is ready, you take out the leaves. For this process, I decided to keep in the leaves, and for this process, I use the actual waakye rice. So you can see the brown. I'm using the brown rice. This one is actually has a lot of stones in it, so you have to really make sure you wash it thoroughly so many times, so that when you are eating it, you do not have stones. That's like one of the most difficult things in eating waakye that has stones. You will not be able to enjoy the food as much as you want to. So make sure you wash it very, very well. So I'm adding that to my beans. Then I'm going to give it a good stir and then add some salt to it. Don't forget the salt. Waakye goes with salt. So you add the salt, you stir it, and then you cover it at this point. Do you guys know something that still baffles me? Even though I'm not complaining, how we came to the point where we add so many things to waakye. Who started that trend? Anyway, so when you see that the waakye is looking good, you have to test it to see if it's actually well cooked. So you can see this one. When I touched the rice and the beans, they were all well cooked. I'm just stirring it to make sure that every part of the waakye is also well cooked before I take it off the fire. So at this point, you can take out the leaves. But I would advise that when you cook the beans, just take out the leaves from there because it's much, much easier at that point than when the whole rice is cooked, and then you now have to be taking the leaves, and some of them will be hiding under the rice and all of that. That's stressful. So I've turned it. I'm giving it. I'm covering it with foil for a final cook. Then I can take it off the fire. So the cooking process can differ based on even the rice you use, the beans you use. We have like soft beans, you have hard beans. Some of the beans you have to cook for a very long time. And this one is the soft one. It's big, so I don't have to spend so much time. Now we're going to make our stew. So the stew that I'm going to pair with the waakye. Let's go. So first of all, I have my pot here, my beautiful pot. I'm going to put in my oil. I'm going to add some curry powder and then some smoked mackerel to give it that nice aroma. For the pepper mix, I used onion, ginger, garlic, green pepper, and tomatoes, and I added everything together. Then I covered it for some time. It's already looking so good. I added some tomato paste to it, and then also gave it a good stir. I added my seasoning, gave it a good stir, and now to the meat I added tripe or yamade, and then fried beef. You all know you can't have stew with this. I also added the meat stock to give it extra flavor, and it's looking so nice. It was so delicious. Now let's make our shito for our waakye. You can see it's looking so good. So first I'm going to add my ginger garlic onion paste, and I'm going to cook this till it becomes very dry. This method is very simple, and it's going to give you guaranteed results. So when it's dry like this, I'm going to add in some oil. You all know the shito swallows up oil, so make sure you have a lot of oil when you're making your shito. I'm going to add in some oil and then keep stirring till it fries well, as you can see on the screen. So it's frying well. So at this point, I'm going to get my other ingredients ready: the fish powder, the shrimp powder, the pepper, the seasoning, and all of that. First, I'm going to come in with the fish powder, or ensisawa as we usually call it in the market, and then my shrimp powder or monko. When you go to the market and tell them you want any of these, they're going to give it to you. Then I'm going to give it a good stir. You can see all the oil has disappeared already. Then I'm going to bring in my powdered pepper or my mekosam. You can add as little or as much as you want based on your preference. Some people like very hot shito. Others also like very mild shito. So based on your preference, you're going to come in with more oil. I told you that shito swallows up oil, so you have to make sure you have a lot of oil. around. So I'm going to give it a good stir, and then now it's almost ready. You just have to leave it on fire for it to, everything to evaporate so that it can become so dry, so that when you keep it there for a very long time, it doesn't get spoiled. So I'm adding in my seasoning. You can use any seasoning that you want, seasoning cube, like natural spices, anything you want to add. Then I'm going to keep stirring it, and then once I'm done stirring, I'll just leave it to be on fire for, it depends on the quantity that will determine the time. Because if I tell you that keep it on fire for 20 minutes or 30 minutes or an hour, your shito may be a little more, a little less than what I'm doing. And you can see that even though I use very little ingredients, shito is looking like it's a lot now. That's also how it is. So you can add more oil if you want, or you can just leave it like that. So it's already looking so good. It's already looking like the shito, and the taste was just as amazing. Yes, so our shito is ready. Now, what you are going to do is that you're going to put it or bottle it up, or whatever you want to do it. So when I put it in a bottle, this is how much I got. This shito is looking so good. So now you're going to serve our waakye. Now let's serve our waakye. You all know that waakye is not waakye unless it comes to a lot of family members. So I'm going to add my macaroni. Some people call it talia, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to add my lettuce. It has some onions in there. Some people also use like actual salad. I'm also going to add some gari. Guys, gari and waakye is the real deal. I'm going to add my gari to it. I'm going to add some eggs. It cannot be a Ghanaian food if there's no egg. Take note of that. Then I'm going to add my stew. So in my stew, I have some wele. I have some fried beef. I have tripe or jemadia in there. And then finally, I'm adding my shito. You can add as many as you want. You can add more if you want. But this is what I'm going to have with mine. I hope you enjoyed this video. Till another one. It's bye.